Many people, I think hundreds of thousands of people are watching this show because we are streaming around the clock in many countries. We have at least 29 services at RFE. So many people are interested in what's happening in Armenia, and they're waiting what's going to happen next. But they know also that there is a standoff between the opposition and the government and the ruling party. But they know also that you are here, you are the president, and you are negotiating with both parties. How can you describe your role here, and how difficult it is, and what you have achieved?
Basically, it's the same question, more or less, that you asked in Armenian. I think the role of the president in the parliamentary republic is to be the guardian of the constitution, the head of the state. There are many other points, but these two are so important in these circumstances. What is happening in Armenia at the end of the day, after several years of demonstrations, now we are going towards democratic process. And the democratic process will lead us to the highest democratic institution, which is the Parliament of Republic of Armenia. And the outcome of this debate, as you put it, down will be resolved at the Parliament with the election of the new Prime Minister and later the new government. And maybe the Parliament will vote also for having new elections in the near future. Maybe they'll vote also to change the election code, or maybe they will vote also to change some of the laws. That will be all in the hands of the Parliament. And if we will manage this properly, that all problems which were raised during the demonstration will be eventually resolved according to the Constitution and inside the Parliament, then we all could be proud that we are on the real path of making Armenia a real democratic state.
You described Armenia as a new Armenia in your statement, which is very symbolic, and the phrase itself has, I think, to my opinion, has some meaning for you. Please, if you can.
Well, probably everybody will interpret that the way they like it, and that's, I think, the power of media. You write a couple of words or a couple of paragraphs, and then people will start explaining what did you mean. And I'm always interested in hearing what people's opinion are on the paragraph or a sentence that you have written. The way I think is that Armenia today is not the same even the one that we had a couple of months ago. Because, first of all, we see rising interest in the Armenian society, in global Armenian society, not only the citizens of Republic of Armenia, but global society, that with the fate of our nation, with the fate of our state. That's great, because that means that at the end of the day, they are not indifferent. They care about the country. Of course, we are human, and we are special humans, which are called Armenians. Everybody has a special opinion. And because in my meetings with different parts of our society, with different political parties, individuals, I have a huge spectrum of opinions. And to be honest, I enjoy that. Because otherwise, the other extreme will be that people will be afraid of expressing their opinion or not having that, or being not interested in expressing that. I'm happy that we have a society which is vibrant, which is young not only in that the young people are demonstrating, but young because it's a young spirit of a nation. And I don't think that being new means only this. It means also that I would like to express that 23rd of April and 24th of April are two important, probably historic events in the history of our nation. 23rd, when Prime Minister Sarkisian, showing political wisdom, decided to resign as Prime Minister. And as he put in his own wording, hearing the voice of the people and not opposing that. That's not a very common thing that is happening in many countries, including in our region.
You said Nicole was right, I was wrong. Not everyone would say.
Exactly. I think history, and we have to give the right the right value, the words and the act that Prime Minister Sarkisian did. The second, on the 24th of April, putting aside all of our differences and hearing to the voice of leaders of the country, everybody as one unified nation went to the genocide memorial and giving respect in many countries worldwide, showing that, yeah, we are human, we will have different opinions and different ideas, and we will maybe fight for it. But that doesn't mean anything when there is an issue of unity. We are all together, be that fighting for Karabakh, be that protecting our national interests, or getting together on the most important day of the memory of the victims of the genocide.
Mr. President, there was a hope on the air on April 24, that tragic day when every Armenian was so sad, deeply sad. Everybody was remembering their grandfathers, like grandfathers, but there was a hope on the air. Everybody was happy, smiling. Would you describe what was your feeling on that?
Well, I think for me, 24th of April is not only a day of remembrance, it's very difficult for me to smile that day because I'm coming from a family where my family members, including my great-grandparents, have lost their lives and their children and their homeland. So it's very difficult for me to smile. But from the other side, it's an important day for us. I would say we used on the 24th of April several times the word of day of national victory, because it's a day of national victory because, you know, in 1915, those who organized the genocide of Armenians were hoping that this nation will disappear from the surface of this planet. We not only didn't disappear, we are back. And we are back very strong and very powerful. And we are going to be here several thousand years ahead. So that's a day not only of remembrance, but also a day of a victory of this nation over genocide. And I am sure that that spirit should be with us when we are negotiating or thinking or talking about the future of our country. Remember our grandfathers and protect this country, make this country better.
If you may allow me just one question about the geopolitics of the region. And the opposition is declaring that this is a velvet revolution, but there is no third country, third party involved in this. But there are some experts around the world saying that, you know, this is maybe another color revolution, especially we hear something from Russia. What's your take on that?
Well, I would say that I don't agree anything happening in our homeland is ours. If we are weak enough that people will think that things happening in Armenia could be manipulated or managed or operated by others, I think it's a shame. So we have to be very, very smart and very, very thoughtful what we are doing, and be ready to have our own plans and projects. I personally don't see interference. We had our problems for years, and it has been accumulated, and it needed a sort of a release, and it happened today. As I told, I'm happy the way it has gone until today. But definitely Armenia is not living in a vacuum. A lot of countries around us, our friends and non-friends, are interested very much in what's happening in Armenia. It's up to us, will we allow them to have their influence in the processes or not? I mean, definitely if you look at Azerbaijan and Turkey, they are very much interested in what's happening in Armenia. They're interested in, will Armenia be a stable or unstable country? Friendly countries around us, superpowers, everybody is interested. The role of the president, one of the jobs is not only of president is not only being the guardian of constitution, meeting people, trying to help the negotiations between opposite sides. I hope that this will be over and I'll go back to other projects, how to support Armenian science or foreign relations, foreign economic relations, to support them, not to run them, because that's the job for the president. But you have to understand it's a part of of the job of president also to guide and to guard and protect the country. And as a president, I have an obligation to be in touch with world leaders, also leaders of our neighboring countries, to keep those countries and the leaders of important countries with what is really happening in Armenia.
You've been communicated with them as media
I will be
reports.
communicating with them
Well,
regularly
we
with different
talked to
leaders.
Vladimir
Yeah,
Putin.
yeah. Yesterday I spoke with the president of Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. I spoke also with the president of Belarus. I spoke with the president of Kazakhstan. And basically I'll continue doing that with
Were
other
there any
leaders.
Western leaders?
Yeah, of
talking?
course. You will
That's
hear about that.
Okay.
There are some telephone calls that I don't report. There are some that are official I report. But that's one of the jobs of president, to keep our friends informed what is happening in the country, so they will get information from the first hand.
So you also had some message for diaspora. I know that this is one of your passions, and you were very passionate about diaspora coming here and helping their homeland.
Well, it's not coming here. I hope nobody in diaspora thinks that they have left the country. They have to think that this is still their country, and they are needed in this country. All difficult days of our nation, be that in 1918, 1921, 1946, 1947, we had a revival of our life, be that economic or culture or educational, with the inflow from diaspora, which is called nergacht. So I think now Armenia, independent Armenia, needs another inflow of nergacht. Of course, we have to create or prepare the right environment and the right conditions for them to be feeling really home, not only emotionally, but physically. I mean, the right economic or legal or even cultural. So, but that's another theme, because that's a long thing for us. I hope we will have another discussion on the theme later.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I wish you success in your difficult negotiations now between the parties.
I'm not negotiator. I'm the facilitator.
You're a facilitator.
Thank you very much. Thank you.